one of our distinguished guests, is here to facilitate the most powerful tool in language education, recent research in self-selected pleasure reading. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Stephen Krashen.
We are in the middle of a major war, and it's a good war. The war is between two hypotheses, and we want to know which one is right. It's a good war because no matter which one wins, we are learning something. This is how science works. The hypothesis I think is right is called the comprehension hypothesis, and it says that we acquire language and develop literacy when we understand what people tell us and we understand what we read. Here's the important point. First, you get comprehensible input. The result is grammar, vocabulary, all the skills. The competing hypothesis is called skill building, and the skill building hypothesis has it the other way around. First, you study your grammar. First, you memorize vocabulary. You practice these things over and over again. You produce them, you get your errors corrected, and then someday, in the future, you can use the language. Remember the English class you took in school? First you learned vocabulary, grammar, then they gave you exercises, and the idea was someday then it would become automatic. We call this a delayed gratification hypothesis. The problem is the gratification never comes. In my opinion, there is not a single human being on this planet who has ever acquired language through skill building. It has never happened. And the research, which we've been putting together for the last 40 years, says comprehensible input is always better. It has won every single experimental test. It has never failed. It has never lost. Not only that, comprehensible input, language acquisition through comprehension, is pleasant. What we want students to do is pay attention to what we say, pay attention to what we read. To do this, the input has to be interesting. So it's automatically interesting, it's automatically pleasant, or it doesn't work. Skill building is boring. 95% of students, and this is my opinion, not based on research, 95% of students in traditional classes hate it. 5% like it, and they become language teachers. You see the problem? So comprehension is win-win. It works and it's pleasant. Skill building is lose-lose. It doesn't work and it's painful. The problem is, for the public, skill building is not a hypothesis, it's an axiom. Everyone assumes that it's true. My goal is to lower the status of the skill building hypothesis from axiom at least to hypothesis. That would be a major step forward. Well, we're pushing the input hypothesis a little farther today. I want to claim that input not only should be interesting, it should be more than interesting. It should be so interesting that that's all you pay attention to. The word I like is compelling. So interesting that you forget that it's in another language. The world stops around you. You're in a state of what Csikszentmihalyi calls flow, F-L-O-W. Your sense of time is altered. Your sense of self is altered.